A very good morning and happy Independence Day to our Honorable Director Sir, respected faculty members and all the staff members. On this auspicious occasion, now may I request our Honorable Director Sir to hoist the flag. Please sir.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Now may I request our Honorable Director Sir to address the Independence Day gathering. Please sir.
Very good morning to all of you, and I wish you all very happy Independence Day. My best wishes and greetings to those students, faculty members and staff members, those who could not make it to be present here, and those who are attending the program virtually. My best wishes to them as well. Independence Day, as you know, is a national festival of India. We all celebrated this festival every year. Every year we used to have the cultural program by the students as well. But this time our students are not in the campus, and that's why we are not in a position to have any cultural events. This festival is celebrated every year to remember the sacrifices of so many persons, those who fought for the independence of the nation. We remember them. But this year, we should also remember the sacrifices of the Corona warriors, those who sacrificed to save our life. If we recall, since last 5-6 months, we have different kind of fear. We faced nationwide lockdown and very recently district lockdown as well. We all were working from home, but we should remember that duties of our institute security personnel, our housekeeping staff, our medical doctors and staff, and other staff of the essential services like electricity, water supply, and internet services in the campus, who were physically present when we all were working from home, they were in the campus to provide us these services. We should recognize and appreciate their services. There are two different things. First is the fear, and second is the precaution. We should not have fear of the corona, but yes, at the same time, we should take all necessary precautions. We all should take a pledge today that we will strictly follow all norms, all safety norms, and not only we follow, but we advise all our friends, our colleagues, and convince them to follow these norms. If we do that, that will be great contribution to the nation. And definitely with this, we will be in a position to defeat Corona and we can help in the development of the country. There are a couple of things which I would like to mention today in my speech. But before that, yes, I would like to congratulate all faculty members, all staff, all students, and all stakeholders, well-wishers of the institute for our institute NIRF ranking. This year, we could achieve 76th rank in engineering category, as you know, and for that, the contribution, efforts, and well-wishes of all is really appreciated and well acknowledged. But yes, at the same time, if we think of maintaining and making it progress in the NIRF ranking, we will have to work very hard. Each one of us may be a small contribution, but yes, we have to do that. We have to think that how we can contribute for the improvement. When I am telling every one of that, I am including my temporary faculty as well. If they are here and if they are listening me, I am telling that yes, they should also contribute because they are treated, as far as the NIRF ranking is concerned, they are treated as faculty. So they can contribute in the form of publishing papers. If they are not well versed how to write a paper, then they can take help of the senior faculty members. They can take the support of the senior faculty members. The publishing papers from the institute, that will really help us in improvement of the NIRF ranking. Now, in today's time, let me talk a couple of things which are very relevant. We all know that we have Vision 2020. If you refer to the institute website, a Vision 2020 document is there. I understand that you all must have read and gone through that Vision 2020 document. If I am not incorrect, that Vision 2020 document has been drafted sometimes in 2012-13, and I was also instrumental in drafting that document. So now we are in 2020 now, as 2020 is almost going to end. So now there is no sense in saying that Vision 2020. We have to have another vision now. But before we think for another vision, maybe Vision 2030, is I think the high time when we should assess ourselves to what extent we have achieved Vision 2020 and whether our movement, our path of progress was in line with what is defined in Vision 2020. And if it is not, then how we can correct that. If you refer Vision 2020 document, there is a mission statement. Mission statement says that, I repeat it here, to re-engineering the engineering education and to mold young students into rational thinking engineers who are motivated by the passion and professional excellence driven by human values and proactively engage in betterment of society. Now in this mission statement, there are two words which are more important. First is re-engineering the engineering education and second is human values. Engage for the students are engaged for the betterment of the society. Human values is also there. What is the re-engineering? Re-engineering means changing from the root, changing the process which doesn't resemble as it was earlier. So our vision was that we should re-engineer the engineering education. Now question comes whether we could do that or not. Yes, I'm happy to say that to some extent we could do that. Replacement of chalk, walk and talk model with the digital model is a kind of re-engineering, I should say. Though, if you remember, in 2017, We have started ED Abhiyan, and at that time, all have been motivated to use digital mode, include digital mode, I should say, in education, in connecting with the students. And this time, in the corona time, we all are forced, I should say, to use digital mode. But anyhow, is a kind of re-engineering where we have moved from chalk, walk and talk model to digital model. More flexibility is offered to the students and faculty if you refer to the new curriculum which we have developed. That is a step towards the re-engineering. We have changed the method of assessment from absolute grading system to relative grading system. So there are a lot of changes are there in that. So to some extent, I should say that we are moving in the correct direction. Second important word in the mission statement is human values. We are all trying to cultivate human values in students. Those who can work for the betterment of their colleagues, betterment of the society. I will not forget here to mention a very recent example of one of the mining engineering student, Ankit Sharma. His friend extended helping hands and collected fund for the treatment of his father of Ankit Sharma. Is nothing but a kind of human values. We are cultivating those kind of, you can say, values in the students, and this is the outcome of that. If I recall, there are many examples where our passed out students, our alumni, are contributing for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of their own colleagues. So this is how, to some extent, we could achieve this particular thing as well. Now let me talk about the objectives which are mentioned in the Vision 2020 document. One of the objectives says that to focus not only in quality education, but on total quality management of NIT Raipur. Not only on quality education, but on total quality management. When I say quality education, this is focused only on education, only on imparting knowledge, training to the students. But when I say total quality management, it covers all spheres of the campus life, all parts of the, you can say, interactions with the various stakeholders in the institute. So whether we could achieve that or not. If you recall, we are making process more simplified and transparent. Is more digitized nowadays. If I take the example of, say, employees, whether it is a case of the medical reimbursement, whether it's CPDA, whether it is application of the leave and sanction of that, the process has become very easy now. If I talk about the students, bottlenecks at many places have been removed. They can access our library from anywhere. Issuing of the books, etc., methodology has been changed. So all this is nothing but a kind of efforts towards the total quality management. And moreover, last year we have started with Quality Circle. In Quality Circle, we not only talk about the improvement in the education, but we talk about the improvement of the, you can say, overall system. We talk about the quality of life in the campus, and we address there the various problems related with the various stakeholders of the institute. So in this way, I should say that, yes, we are moving for the total quality management. If you look at the roadmap, what is stated in Vision 2020, yes, I think we should assess from various angles. That's why I'm taking one by one. Roadmap, as far as the UG and PG courses, it was written there. It is written there, I should say. Renovation of labs, yes, done in many cases. Curriculum revision in method of evaluation, yes, we are in the right path. We have recently done curriculum revision, and method of evaluation from absolute to relative grading we have started. So yes, that also we have changed. Every department should have professional student association to improve creativity of students. Every department has that, and not only to improve the creativity of the students, not only at the department level but at the institute level, full support is there. We have various clubs where the students explore their creativity, can come out with their innovative ideas, and that is full supported by the institute. Next, it talks about the opening of the PG courses. And there it is specifically mentioned to open MTech program in structural engineering. Yes, we did that. Then it says that MTech program in industrial engineering and management. Yes, we have done that. Then MTech program in mechanical design. Yes, we have done that. Then nanotechnology, microelectronics and VLSI design. VLSI design we have done, but others we couldn't do. Then it talks about the opening of the MBA program. Yes, we couldn't do that. MSc program in physical and chemical sciences. That also we couldn't do. Now we have to assess whether there is a need of these kind of programs in the new scenario. And if it is there, that should be included in Vision 2030 document. And then we should try to focus on that, why we couldn't do that and how we can do that. Then it talks about the institute social responsibility. Vision document is a very lengthy document where it covers every aspects. Next, it talks about the social responsibility. Whether NIT Raipur is moving in the direction of fulfilling the social responsibility. I should say yes. The reason is that we are arranging so many faculty development program for the betterment of the, you can say, faculty of the surrounding institutes. We are arranging entrepreneurship awareness and innovation and all. So that is a kind of social responsibility. Under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, we are taking care of the 5 villages which we have adopted. That is a kind of social responsibility. Next, it says that establishment of the career development cell. Yes, that is mentioned there in the Vision 2020 document, and I'm happy that not only career development cell, but we could establish the career development center having various verticals, having a specific focus on the entrepreneurship and innovation. Then it says that effective and transparent governance. Yes, we are in the correct path by going for the, you can say, digital mode of governance where various administrative works is done by the digital mode, provides transparent governance. We are moving in the right direction. Then it says that institute should give a serious efforts for the recruitment. Whether we could do that. If I recall, faculty recruitment was done in 2013, somewhere in 2015, 2018. And this time we could have done it, but because of the corona, we couldn't complete it. But yes, that is in the agenda for 2020. So by 2020 end, hopefully, by the grace of the God, we will be in a position to complete that. And this time we have the vacancies advertised for all the faculty positions, including professors. As far as the non-teaching is concerned, yes, vacancies have been advertised and that has been done somewhere in 2015-16. And this time another big recruitment drive is there where we are going to fill up large number of vacancies. We could have done that again because of the problems. We couldn't do that, but probably by the end of 2020 we'll be in a position to do that. If we can do that, that will be a kind of fulfilling the, you can say, roadmap, whatever is given there in the Vision 2020 document. Then it talks about the resource generation. Resource generation, how we can increase our resources. One way is by increasing consultancy. I'm sorry that, yes, we couldn't make that much improvement in that. We have to reassess that, how we can do that. Resource generation, for that, fundraising from the society. Yes, we have started that, a step is there. We have created a dedicated cell for the resource generation and we are putting every efforts in that. So this is how we can say that to some extent we could cover that, but yeah, there are a couple of areas where we could not achieve that. That happens every time whenever we have some vision, It's not necessary that we can achieve each and everything. But yes, the vision should be proper and direction of movement should also be correct. These two things are most important. Now the question comes that 2020 is over. We should have now the vision for the next 10 years to come. We must prepare Vision 2030 document. Now question comes that still we couldn't fill up, we couldn't achieve all the points which are mentioned in Vision 2020 document. So why there is a need of 2030? Why we cannot continue with the same and write there 2030? No, that will not be correct. The reason is that we are in the age of Industry 4.0. Lot of changes are there if you see. We are in the age of Industry 4.0. New education policy, as you all know, it is there. We have to think about that as well while having a Vision 2030. NIRF ranking accreditation, these are all getting more importance. They were not that much prominent at that time when Vision 2020 was prepared, because 2020 doesn't talk about anything about this, neither NIRF ranking nor accreditation. Social media was not that much prominent that time, but now social media is becoming very much important. Late news, I should say, is that no news. So we are in that age. Use of artificial intelligence in education. Yes, that is a great area. We should explore that. Various applications of artificial intelligence in education sector are chatbots, biometric authentication of students, automated grading, and personalization of students. Presently, we are not in a position to give a personal touch to individual students because of the volume, because many more students are there. But AI makes it possible. We can track each and individual students and we can focus on the improvement of individual students. That is how the personalization comes into picture using AI. How we can do that? That definitely we have to find out the, you can say, ways and means. But while preparing Vision 2030 documents, the application of AI should also be explored and that should be included in that. So this is regarding Vision 2020 document. Another thing which I would like to talk about today, and which is again very relevant, is new education policy. You all must have read new education policy, must have listened to various, you can say, panel experts discussing on the new education policy. But the question comes that what is the role of our own institute in achieving what is described in new education policy? At least we should start thinking. We should move in the correct path. So in new education policy 2020, I should say this is the first education policy of the 21st century. Many new things are included there. One important thing which it says, which I should underline it, children not only learn, but more importantly, learn how to learn. Children should learn how to learn. That is more important. It's not simply remembering the things and reproducing the examination. That should not be there. That is not the need of the day. The need is development of the creativity, development of the self-thinking. They can solve the problem of the society. That is the focus. So our institute should also focus on that. It says that a good education institute is one in which every student feels, listen very carefully, every student feels welcomed and cared for, where a safe and stimulating learning environment exists, where a wide range of learning experiences are offered, and where good physical infrastructure and appropriate resources for learning are available to all students. Attaining these qualities must be the goal of every educational institute. That is what is stated there. So providing a learning environment, welcoming each and every students. They should feel that they are at home. They should feel that they are here for learning. That kind of environment we have to create. We have to provide every infrastructure facilities. So I think that we have to think about the development of the Vision 2030 in line with our education policy as well. Because here the role of the educational institute is also narrated, where it says that the every educational institute must focus on these aspects. There are certain fundamental principles given in new education policy. Couple of them I would like to mention here. The first is that recognizing, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each students. Again it says that each and every students. So we have to focus on each and every students. Flexibility to learner, to some extent, yes, we already provided that in our new curriculum. We have to still explore that how we can provide. New education policy says that, talks about the credit bank, where a student can learn part of the things here and part of the things in the other institute, and like that he can complete the course, like that he can take the break in the course. So many flexibilities are provided there. We have to think about that, how we can contribute in that. Emphasis on conceptual understanding. Earlier also I said that the emphasis should not only on passing of examination. Emphasis should be on conceptual learning. Then last important point which I would like to mention is use of technology in teaching and learning. Yes, I am focusing it from 2017. This time we are using it, but yes, policy also says that emphasis should be given to technology for teaching and learning. It says that by 2040, all higher education institutes shall aim to become multidisciplinary institutes. Holistic and multidisciplinary education should be there, and for that, various innovative and flexible ways should be adopted. Various courses and projects, including community engagement and service, environment education, and value-based education should be included. Again, it also talks about value-based education and community-based projects. Yes, we have to explore that also, that how we can engage our students in the project work for the betterment of the community. Higher educational institutes should focus on the research and innovation by setting up startup incubation center, technology development center, center and interdisciplinary research. Incubation center, yes, that is also on anvil. We have submitted a couple of proposals to various agencies and probably we will get it very soon. One more thing which is very novel in the new education policy, it says that role of faculty is very well recognized. It mentions that excellence of faculty will be recognized through appropriate reward, promotions, recognition, and movement to institutional leadership. We have started recognizing the faculty since last year, and that is what is talked about here also, that faculty should be recognized for their good work. And not only that, it also says that faculty not delivering on basic norms will be held accountable. This is a new thing. Those who are not delivering to the basic norms, they should be held accountable for that. Great focus is there on the use of technology in this new policy. It says that new technology involving artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart boards will not just change what students learn in the classroom, but how they learn. Again, you see here the focus using technology. Students should not decide that what they learn, but it also focuses on that, how to learn, what and how. These two things are included in that. These areas of technology definitely requires educational institute to carry out research in the technology front, not only carry out the research in that, but use of those technology for the teaching and learning. You might be aware that there is a point mentioned where policy says that an autonomous body, National Educational Technology Forum, NETF, will be created to provide a platform for the free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, and administration as well. So you just see the talks about the use of technology in all spheres of the education life, educational institutes life. It also focuses on the online and digital education. Focuses on that. NEP recognizes the importance of leveraging the advantage of the technology. So it is well clear that there is advantage of using the technology. Technology in education is a journey, is not a destination. It is a journey, so we should treat it as a journey. We should adopt it. It focuses on the digital infrastructure, online teaching platform and tools, content creation, digital repository and dissemination, virtual labs, training and incentive for teachers, online assessment and examination, blended model of learning, etc. So, a lot of importance is given to technology. We are using technology to the maximum possible extent. But again, I should say that we are all forced to use it. It's my request to you all that in new normal, definitely we have to follow a blended model. Rather, we should explore the possibility of using that, I should say. And we should continue using technology to the maximum extent possible, where with the help of which we are all benefited. We all, I mean to say, faculty and students and all stakeholders of the institute. So we should formulate Vision 2030 in line with the education policy, in line with Industry 4.0, and many more new happenings which is there. So definitely there is a need of Vision 2030 for the institute, and very soon I will form a, you can say, a task force or committee who will frame the Vision 2030 document. And I wish that by the end of 2020, we should be ready with Vision 2030 document. And with this platform, I am appealing to all stakeholders, including students, staff, faculty, everybody, my alumni as well, that they should give their feedback for the preparation of Vision 2030 document. Their valuable suggestions will definitely help us in having a new vision which is a 10 years ahead. And I wish that we will be in a position to come out with Vision 2030 document very soon, and which is the very much essential as well. At the end, I wish that we all should remain safe. We should all remain safe. We should use all habits of remaining safe, and we should convince the others to follow those habits. And that is a great contribution to the nation, as I mentioned in the beginning as well. And I also want to see my student back in the campus very soon. That is what is my wish. They should come immediately to the campus. We are missing them. So again, I wish you all a very happy Independence Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your precious message, encouragement, and enthusiastic words. Thank you, everyone, for your kind presence. Bharat Mata ki! Bharat Mata ki! Bharat Mata ki! Thank you once again.
नफरत की लाठी तोड़ो, लालच का खंजर फेंको, जिद के पीछे मत दौड़ो, तुम प्रेम के पंछी हो देश प्रेमियों। देश प्रेमियों, आपस में प्रेम करो देश प्रेमियों, मेरे देश प्रेमियों। आपस में प्रेम करो देश प्रेमियों। नफरत की लाठी तोड़ो, लालच का खंजर फेंको, जिद के पीछे मत दौड़ो, तुम प्रेम के पंछी हो देश प्रेमियों। आपस में प्रेम करो देश प्रेमियों, मेरे देश प्रेमियों। आपस में प्रेम करो देश प्रेमियों।